Oregon Cherry Growers of Salem, Oregon is a cooperative venture owned by a group of independent growers. The co-op was established in 1932 and has grown to become the largest sweet cherry handler in the world. From its modern processing and packing facilities, Oregon Cherry Growers supplies fresh, frozen, rind, glacé, maraschino, ingredient, and canned cherries to retail, food service, and industrial customers around the world. In an effort to continually improve their operation and to position the company for continued growth, Oregon Cherry Growers undertook an impact program. The company has been successfully utilizing the impact program for the past 3 years. We returned to the company to find out the long-term effects of the impact program. What was the reaction when impact was first introduced 3 years ago?
I was skeptical. I think that we've all seen these kind of programs come down the pike. Promise great rewards, but there were some interesting items that we saw in it. I think the idea in our company in particular, we needed to educate our supervisors. I think the idea of taking the knowledge, I guess, the information and the power that we had in the company and rolling it down to the supervisors was a critical factor. I thought the money-back guarantees were interesting, and we had been looking at trying to improve our operations and do some of the training in the past ourselves.
Well, when they first came in and told us that we were going to have an impact and people were going to come through and look at how we ran things, I was really skeptical. I didn't think things would change. We've always ran this way. I didn't think anybody from the outside would be able to make the people inside change.
After the program was initially installed, how did you feel?
The program was very valuable. I gained a lot of personal growth through it myself. I was studying in college human resource management, so I got to put a lot of the theory to practice, and the theory works, and the impact program did work, and I was very pleased with the outcomes.
It has really changed the I think focus on our supervisors. It changed the way we operate. It's had a major impact on how we do things.
Oh, the same. I think it's very positive. There was the initial skepticism on the part of the employees as well, and the concerns and fears. Once we started up the other side, I think it has just been continual improvement as they have seen the quality of their work life improve, and I think they feel the benefits beyond the workplace even, and their self-esteem has gone up, and there's just a lot of pluses there that has made everyone, I think, even appreciate our corporate culture more than they did before, because everything has improved, including the corporate culture that we're so proud of.
How do you feel now that the program has been in effect for 3 years?
Well, I'm a believer now. I've seen our numbers improve probably 50% in the last 3 years. And it was all painless. It was just paying attention and using different techniques that we hadn't been shown before.
Now that it's 3 years later, the programs are strong. I think the one thing they stressed was that make them your own and make them live, and we've done that. We've incorporated a lot of our own ideas at Oregon Cherry Growers and made them our own programs, and through the input of the employees and the supervisors. So it's been very effective.
We have had tremendous success and continue to build on that success. And so I think it has not only saved us money, and that's a factor, just like a capital budget on a piece of equipment, but I think it's developed a culture that we can live with, and when new employees come in, there is programs set up that we can go through and educate them and make sure that they feel comfortable as a supervisor. And the supervisors themselves have an opportunity to really feel and impact the bottom line with their numbers, their information, their projections, and they've all made major changes in their area by their choice rather than by management's perception of what needs to be done.
I feel very much the same. The time is just reinforcing the benefits of the impact program. The numbers are still there. The positive impact on our people is still there. And so it's just a continuation, which was what we expect. We did bring in a coordinator, and our intentions were to follow through with this. It wasn't a one-shot thing. We knew that there would be a natural tendency to backslide as we were changing people's habits and work patterns a bit, getting them out of their comfortable zone. From time to time, there's a tendency to move back. We anticipated all of that, and on the advice of your people, put in a coordinator, and so we have seen that the results have been ongoing and steady and consistent.
What savings have you realized from the Impact program, both initially and now?
The savings compared to the fee, I mean, we've paid for this, the fee 4 times over already. The savings still continue, which in some, you would think they would lessen because of the degrees of which things change. But we have continued to raise the benchmarks or the level, and we've continued the savings.
The savings were as projected. The 1-year guarantee was met, and those are continuing now. But we are so far past the initial payback and the 1-year guarantee that we've actually moved the basis up at least twice, so the savings are understated, and we don't focus on that as much as using the numbers for scoreboard purposes to measure week by week how we're doing against our previous performance.
What do you think the company has gained?
Oh, I think one of the major things the company has gained is a better understanding of our cost. I think better supervisors, better managers. I think the corporate culture has changed and allowed people in the plants that are on the line to be able to make decisions and feel comfortable making decisions about their area.
3 years ago, we had no standards. We ran every day, and what we got was what we got. We had no goal as to how we were to run and at what pace we were to run. And so we set standards so we could gauge how we were doing. And every year we've reviewed our standards, we've increased them, and we haven't done any equipment changes. It's just in the way we ran our equipment and communication with the people so that the production flows better.
Well, the company gains in many ways. The obvious one is the greater productivity. But I think the company also gains in long-term stability, in that we have been able to focus on trying to make each person's job more fulfilling and more fun even. And as long as we have good numbers that we're measuring against, we're trying to then preserve those numbers while we factor in as much fun as we can. That promotes longevity and promotes long-term continued good productivity.
Company's gained better employees. The company has gained, obviously, the financial benefits of it. Also, it has gained for Oregon Cherry Growers the ability to judge where they've been and where they need to be. And that's been very vital, especially when you've got, in our industry, things change all the time. And to be competitive in the marketplace, you have to know where you are. And that's been a very strong point for Oregon Cherry Growers.
How did the communications workshops help you and the company?
Well, I think they've helped them by giving them tools and actually enhance their skill level as a supervisor, particularly in the area of working with other people. That's really what it's all about. There's a lot of numbers we've developed and generated feedback that we didn't have before, but the real skills in terms of being better at working with other people. And I think that anybody feels better about themselves when they realize they are interacting and working on a higher social level that enhances their relationships with their co-workers.
Communication, absolutely, 100%. Because without the communication, you can't get anything done. That's the one area in which, when I did training of new supervisors or training of new managers, when we brought a manager in, they went through impact training. It's part of their indoctrination. I always stress the communication skills and building a relationship, because that's probably where they need to be. because you can tell somebody 6 different ways to do something, but if they don't understand, you're not being effective as a manager. And so you can't get the tasks done. You can't be an effective leader. So communication to me was one of the first and foremost, most important aspects of the Access training.
Well, I think that the behavioral workshops set the base. I think that's probably one of the most difficult parts, is getting the people to change in a short amount of time.
How would you summarize your impact experience?
It was very good. From across the board, from the supervisors, the plant employees, upper management, middle management, it brought everybody together so that we all understand what our goals are, where the company lies as an entity in its own industry, who our competitors are, what we need to be, what we need to do to maintain our competitive edge. And then if we don't maintain that competitive edge, what will happen? And there's an understanding that's between the management and the labor now that I think that wasn't there before prior to coming to Oregon Cherry Growers. It's been overall, I'd say I'd give you a big thumbs up. It was very good.
One word would be positive. I don't think there's a single negative that I can point to. But I would also say I don't think it's an automatic positive for everybody. I think it takes a buy-in and strong support from the top down, and I think it takes effort on the part of the CEO or whoever the top person is in that company to get the kind of results that we achieved. And it's not going to just automatically happen. There's a lot of variables. So it's very positive, but it does take some work and some effort on the part of everybody involved.
What advice would you give to someone who was about to go through an impact program?
The most important thing is be open-minded and be willing to accept change, because with change there's a lot of benefit and things can be so much better and so much easier than you always thought they had to be hard, and they don't have to be.
Listen, 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 and act. Don't be afraid. Your biggest downfall will be your fear factor. Don't be afraid of something that's new. Even though these concepts aren't new, the change is new, and people are afraid of change. Don't be afraid to change, because it will be in your best benefit.
My advice is give it a try. I have a hard time understanding why it's not worth a try. The analysis phase is beneficial even if you didn't go ahead with the program. There's something you're going to learn there, but you probably will be surprised at what kind of potential there is, and the savings are guaranteed. So very positive upside, and I don't see much downside. It was hard for us to justify why not go ahead with it.
I think the most important thing is to understand and really look at where they're at, and can the type of impact training really change their culture. Number one, are they willing to make the commitment from the top down? And I think that's one of the most. Are they willing to support the program for the long term? And I think the other is when you go through your bases and do your analysis to make absolutely sure that it goes to the bottom line.
Would you do it again?
Definitely I'd do it again. For my department, it's been such a rewarding experience. We've seen our production numbers increase. I remember when Impact first came, we ran 50 or 60 pallets a day, and our standard was set at 100. And I told our Impact coordinator, I said, you got to be kidding, we'd never do 100. And now we can run 130, and we have never done anything to the equipment to change.
Yeah, I would like to do the Impact program again. It's been a good program for this company. I think it has allowed the company to grow, to be more efficient. We have grown substantially in sales since we did the program 3 years ago, and our supervisors are taking on more and more responsibility as the company grows rather than adding supervisors. And I think it's been a major benefit not only to the company but to many of the supervisors and managers that have gone through this program.
Absolutely. The reason why is it's been a very positive experience, both financially and from the human values side of it. And quite frankly, I don't know which of those two benefits would be greater. The financial benefit has been significant, and our growers and our company has benefited from that, but to me it's extremely important to see the growth of our people and to feel that they are experiencing a higher quality of life and feel better about themselves and see their self-esteem grow. I don't know how you measure the value of that, but it's very high.